This is the SHIB coin 1 month overview reading for the month of September 2023. It's currently September 8th, 2023, 6:38 p.m. Eastern Time. We actually recorded this quite a bit ago, but the file got deleted, so here we are doing it again. And the price of SHIB coin at the time of this reading is currently 0.0000755, or 5 zeros after the decimal point. That's USD. The shuffle file for the September reading was created on July 4th, 2023 at 8:01 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video right here. So the overall theme and behavior for the month, there is a sideways fluctuating decline that precedes a sideways fluctuating rally that precedes a decline. It's crossed with a significant move higher standing out on at least a 1 month scale. Behavior around the highest high for the month, we have a period of volatility and a sharp drop that stands out in that period of volatility. Behavior around the low, often you see the low more than once when you see the works card in the low position. And that's due to the fact that you go from sideways rotation along key support, rise to meet the nearest resistance, and then fall back down and continue rotating sideways along that same support. So that's the behavior we should see around the low. Yeah, and my sense is that we probably see the low again here with, for a second time here on the 13th, where this Ace of Cups is. Before we get into all that, let's take a look at August and see how we did. So we have a highest high on the 12th. And it looks like we had a highest high in the 11th. We missed it by a day, but pretty solid, guys. Even if we were off by a day, the 12th was next to highest high. And then we had a lowest low on the 20th, or the 21st, excuse me, the 19th and the 21st. So it looks like there was a low there and then a low there. The low here being on the 21st. So we pretty much nailed that, guys. Right on point. Really nailed that. And so, just so you guys are aware, if you didn't already know, the August reading that we just reviewed, it was created May 23rd, 2023 at 10:02 p.m. Eastern Time. It's for August. It was made in May. All right, so let's get into it. On the first, so behavior or lows and highs. So I see a low around the 10th. I see a low around the 12th, 13th. I should say lowest lows, and then I see a highest high towards the end of the month. It's a little unclear as to exactly where it is, and there's a pretty significant trough within really close proximity to it, making it a little like, if I'm wrong, that trough would end up being a lowest low, but I don't think so based on the overall theme behavior. So on the first, we successfully turned resistance on a multi-day scale into new support with a big move higher and then sideways rotation. Key technical price level on the second is highlighted on a multi-day scale, key resistance, and a lot of price change involved in that. Involving that resistance. There's a prominent trough on a 1 month scale that'll stand out there and trade opportunity. On the third, we have a rally on a multi-day scale that will offer an opportunity to open up a short position. We'll talk about that in more detail in the paid version. On the fourth, we have a big move to the upside, pushing the upper end of a range higher, again on the scale of at least a 1 month kind of chart. There's another move, an unexpected move to the upside on the fifth. That may be, it's a little unclear. I think we probably pushed the upper end of a range higher on the fourth, and then that turns into a pretty significant decline. A sharp decline into the fifth, and then an unexpected move out of that decline on the fifth. Unexpected move higher on the sixth, sideways rotation. On the seventh, bumping along resistance, maybe breaking through, but bumping along resistance is the majority of the behavior, and we likely see some like another trough there on the seventh. A trough on the fifth, a trough on the seventh, and a trade opportunity there we'll talk about in more detail in the paid version. Guys, if you're interested in the paid version, it's a really good way to support the channel. Basically, like, anybody that had the paid version of the August reading would have made money based on the accuracy of this reading, guys. So what they paid for was basically all of the information as far as what we see for like where to enter and exit a position. what type of chart behavior we're looking for in estimated time frames, and try to guide people in and out of the trade. We also will look at trades from different time frames as well, if there's anything relevant on a 1 year chart or on a multi-year chart, and also if there is any price predictions, which we don't do for that doesn't happen often, but when there is price prediction info, we're going to include that in the paid version moving forward. So the way that you get that, guys, you go to our website, tarotfortraders.com, click on our services, SO Meta Posts, scroll down to monthly subscription, click here, and SHIB coin right here. You subscribe $111 a month, and you get the best trades that we see. Generally speaking, we're pretty accurate. We're not right all the time. Sometimes we're off, but for the majority of it, we're pretty on point. And if you trade responsibly, you should do pretty well, even if we're wrong occasionally. You can get a paid subscription to any of these crypto or ticker symbols. Or if you're interested in the paid version of all of them, you can get the 30 days access to all paid. It's the most popular subscription on our site. And we definitely know the name of everybody that goes ahead and does that. You guys are our biggest supporters. So thank you all very much for that. Let's get back into it. All right, on the 8th, we have a big move to the upside, reaching for a distant resistance, and there's a peak or crest midday there on the 8th, and a trade opportunity. On the 9th, looks like there's a trough early in the day and then another move to the upside, but that move to the upside is like a fake breakout on the 9th on a multi-day scale. Fake breakout there. We end up in some sideways fluctuations on the 10th, where we likely see a lowest low. There's a cross-reading congruency here. So not only is there a strong correlation to the low significator here for the month of September, there's a strong correlation indicated by this shaded in red triangle, but the blue preview card from the August reading, the sneak preview card from the August reading is the change card, which also gives it like extra oomph. So there's a very strong possibility that that's where the lowest low is there, around the 9th, the 9th, 10th. And then it's likely based on what we see here with the way that the works card usually ends up, showing itself when it's in the low significator position, is that we're going to see the low again somewhere around the 12th or the 13th, probably the 13th. So on the 11th, we have a period of sideways rotation and a fast sudden move higher, marking that end to that period of sideways rotation. That takes us to a key resistance on a multi-day scale there. It's like the nearest resistance that's the nearest key resistance here on the 12th. It's the nearest key resistance to the support that we had on the 11th, most likely. And then a trade opportunity there on the 13th. A notable decline offering a trade opportunity as well. There's possibly a day trade opportunity there. We'll get into in more detail in the paid version. And then on the 14th, there's a fast sudden move higher on a multi-day scale, followed by a big move lower on the 15th, taking us to another prominent trough for the month that'll stand out. On the 16th, we have erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level and a trade opportunity there. In the midst of that erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level, we revisit a crest that was recently a past opportunity. It's very likely that it was the crest from like the 12th, 13th. And then on the 17th, we have a period of volatility that ends with a fast sudden move higher. On the 18th, a rally that increases with momentum moving forward in time. Yes, I love you too, Hermes. And then on the 19th, a decline that creates multiple new resistance on the way down. On the 20th, a failed attempt to break through key resistance followed by a decline through key support. There's also something important here. We may have another... Hard to say what's going on here in this case. But I think there's probably a really fast sudden move higher right around the cusp of the 19th, like maybe a gap up to reach for a failed attempt at resistance. It'll be resistance that we met just a few days prior, probably the resistance that we met rallying with this rally that increases with momentum on the 18th. If not, it's that crest from the 16th, but we'll fail to break through. It'll look like we're going to break through, but we'll fail to break through, and instead we'll decline through key support on a multi-day scale. We have a peak at the beginning of the day on the 21st, or like a peak and a brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a decline, another peak around the cusp of the 21st, 22nd, and volume or volatility will kind of flatten out there. There'll be a prominent peak on a 1 month scale there, followed by a fake out, looks like to the downside. Fake out to the downside on the 23rd to a prominent trough for the month. There'll be a really significant move to the downside there. It will be overall a mixed day on the 23rd, but big drop in the middle of the day. And then on the 24th, very likely a really big move to the upside. I'm advised to be cautious there, multiple false tops. And then on the 25th, I'm advised not to chase a rally. We very likely have a highest high here on the 25th. I'm advised not to chase a rally because there's sharp drop on the 25th. It gets pretty crazy. There's a lot of wild behavior going on, but remember what we have around the highest high, a period of volatility and sharp drop that stands out in that period of volatility. So I think we go from a highest high here on the 25th, and there's a sharp drop after meeting a resistance that we met before. There's a sharp drop on the 26th to a trough midday. And then we might have another big move to the upside to another highest high on the 27th. Cross-streeting congruency here as well, and then the labradorite stones here, all indications of a highest high. The double X is usually a lowest low. It can be a highest high in some cases. The X is often a highest high. I mean, so the highest high, we probably see it more than once, like here on the 25th, 26th, and then again on the 27th, 28th. But there's a pretty significant trade in there. After we go from a highest high there on the 25th, you could catch a real quick short position and close it the next day on the 26th after a sharp drop. If I'm wrong, then it would be the following day on the 27th. When you have that sharp drop and you close the short, this is the type of behavior that we get into in the paid version, just to give you an idea. So here on the 28th, we have an important, the fortune card in a lot of cases is also a highest high. So it's very likely we have another high there, visiting the highest high again there, but there's a notable reversal. The science card is often a highest high. We're probably like bumping up against the highest high multiple times here in the last week. And because we're ending at highest highs, and the card is the chariot card, a sideways fluctuating rally that precedes a decline. I anticipate that there's likely a pretty big decline here in October. And you can see we go from, looks like that Ace of Cups ended up being a lowest low into early July. We should see another lowest low here close in September, and then by the time we get into October, we should see that lowest low again one more time. But the abundance card, also another very toppy, could be a new high kind of card there. I just be very careful here on the 26th. There's going to be a sharp drop here, and there's a pretty notable opportunity to make some money there. We'll talk about that in a lot more detail in the paid version. Sneak preview for the following month ties into the same kind of chart pattern that I expected, where we have this rally along a diagonal trend line that ends with a fast sudden move higher, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. That's SHIB coin for September. My friends, don't forget to follow that rule of karma. It's super important you do so here at the resources tab. The channel is relying on you to do this, my friends. Go to resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders. Donate 5% of the profits forward to one of these charities and 5% of the profits back to the channel here. Thank you very much. And that leaves you with 90% of the money. As long as you follow those rules and you spend that money out of love, the universe considers you an angel investor of the channel, and it's going to get sent back to you tenfold through this channel, my friends. I'll see you on the next one. Stay tuned if you got the paid version.